The GPS said that I had only 5 plus hours of riding today. I made my way out of Battambang at about 8:30 in the morning. There was very little traffic because it is not a very big town. Before long, I hit the new highways. When I cycled here 2 years ago, they were only partially built. That Back then, children would play on the highways because it was closed to traffic. Today, cars and lorries speed on it at 90 kilometers per hour. There are no tolls on this highway because it links villages and small towns together. You know you are nearing a village when the speed limit drops to 40 kilometers per hour. The highway is also used by children to walk or cycle to school. As I made my way to the capital of the Cambodian kingdom, I had a nagging feeling about my motorcycle chain. It wasn't time to oil it yet, but I decided to stop and check it. I turned into an old but beautiful temple. Sure enough, all the dust had caused the oil on the chain to turn into gunk. Cambodia is a very dusty country. The inner road around the temple was used by people around it, and some young men stopped to admire. The inner road around the temple was also used by people around it, and some young men stopped to admire my yellow adventure motorcycle. We struck up a conversation in English, and I told them about my riding adventures. I also decided to nickname my motorcycle Chiang after my late cousin. I think he would have come on this adventure with me. I stopped for lunch at a roadside stall. Next to it was a drink stall. The drinks menu was in Khmer, so I simply pointed to the image of the first drink and asked if it was coffee. The man said yes. When the drink arrived at my table, I was pleasantly surprised that it was coconut coffee. Then I rode for another hour or so. The day was very hot and dry. About 50 kilometers from the capital, I stopped for a cold drink. Chiang was very dirty from 6 days of riding over floods and dusty roads. So instead of heading straight to the hotel, I went and got Chiang washed. When I reached Phnom Penh. The workers did such a good job that I gave them a tip. After I reached the hotel and had a shower, I headed straight to my friend's bar. It was very nice to see them again. A few of their children are now grown up and working as cashiers in the bar. I also took a walk by the riverside. It is just as I remembered it, full of life and activities. I can sit here for hours just watching the children play. This is a front door. That's a king size bed. And then I've got a balcony. Well, a little balcony as the door to the balcony. And a small table, painting. Look at the ornaments. Those are ornaments not painted on, by the way. And then shower and bathroom. Look at the size of this thing, this place.
look at this.
After 2 days in Phnom Penh, it was time to leave. I'm always sad to leave the capital of Cambodia because I have many friends here. It was a lot of fun catching up with them last night. This morning, I went down to the hotel's cafe for breakfast, but it wasn't ready. I decided to skip it because I had an 8-hour bike ride today. And if I include 2 hours for rest and lunch, it would take... And if I include 2 hours for rest and lunch, it would be And if I include 2 hours for rest and lunch, it would be a 10-hour bike ride. I was headed to Pol Pot's grave today. Coincidentally, it is located at the border checkpoint between Cambodia and Thailand. The first stretch took me towards Siem Reap. Although there was a pretty good highway, I couldn't speed because the highway cuts across many villages and towns. On top of that, vehicles will overtake without thinking. So I plodded along at about 80 kilometers per hour, slowing down when I neared a built-up area. I stopped for an early lunch not because I was hungry but because my butt hurt. 2 hours later, I turned north towards the border. The road north was not well maintained. It was very uneven and Chiang bounced up and down and made my bum hurt even more. No, it's not as sexy as it sounds. There wasn't much traffic, but you couldn't speed on the uneven road. On top of that, children played along the road, and it would be terrible if I knocked one of them down. I had initially wanted to spend the night at the last town before the border. I was afraid that the process of getting my motorcycle over would take a few hours. I reached the town at about 5 p.m. I filled up the bike and took a short rest, then decided to chance it and cross today. Right before the border was Pol Pot's grave. There was a simple sign to show the way. I parked Chiang at the entrance and walked in. The government had built a sort of pavilion to cover the grave. Initially, metal roof sheets were used to cover the grave. The metal had rusted. There isn't even a headstone to mark this terrible dictator of Cambodia's grave. His men murdered millions at his command and tortured even more. But now, he lies in an unmarked grave in the middle of nowhere. May Cambodia never see another such man. It was already evening when I decided to cross the border. If the process would take a few hours, then I would stay one more night in Cambodia and cross the border in the morning. I approached the Cambodian custom and explained that I wanted to take my motorcycle into Thailand. I asked if I could walk over to the Thai side to ask while leaving Chiang. I asked if I could walk over to the Thai side to ask while leaving Chiang at the Cambodian side as collateral. The customs officer said yes, so I walked into Thailand. I found a customs counter and explained what I wanted to do while showing the officer my documents. Yes, you can bring your motorcycle through this checkpoint.
I rode over the mountain.
I quickly went back to the Cambodian side and got my passport stamped while
How is this?
I quickly went back to the Cambodian side and got my passport stamped while handing back my motorcycle's custom forms to the customs officer. Then I rode the 20 meters to the Thai side. I had to fill in the Thai immigration card. Then I lined up at the passport window. The officer at the window took my motorcycle's grant and insurance and keyed something into his computer. He asked me where I would exit Thailand and I told him that I was headed to Vientiane.
You happy dog?
I looked up the map and saw that I would exit the next month. About 10 minutes later, he handed me a The customs officer took my forms and motorcycle card. He keyed something into his computer and handed me another form. After that, I was free to go. I put on my riding gear. I put on my riding gear again and mounted Chiang and rode to my hotel. I checked into a small hotel with a great view of a valley. I asked the owner to cook dinner for me and paid for it. As usual, I washed my clothes before typing out the day's journey.